Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Enigmatica 6. Expert, how are you guys doing today? How's life? I just noticed him. Are you a boss? Yep. Okay, he died. Last episode I did mention that we are going to start making some lithium in order to make some advanced circuits, so let us get started. Mechanism at this very moment is incredibly expensive, but thankfully in this mod pack there is an alternative recipe. It's not going to be much easier, but we can do it with pneumatic craft. But you might also notice that in order to make lithium, we're going to need brine, the fluid. Converting brine, the person, into a fluid is not that difficult. All you need is this marvelous multi-block tank. You drop the brine inside, but I don't think it's going to be enough. We need more. Yes, 2 of them should be good. Also make sure to name them appropriately, otherwise this is not gonna work. These are very delicate recipes, you have to pay attention. We have them in solid form, now we need to start dissolving them. The catalyst that we're going to use is some sort of a purple fluid. I never said it's going to be easy. Okay, something like that. And finally, if you get an appropriate amount of heat, you will get brine, the fluid. And that is exactly what we want. As a byproduct, we are also going to get dense steam, which I'm voiding it. And if we take the brine and put it inside another refinery, which I did forget the outputs, here they are, don't you worry, that will give us liquid lithium and dense steam. And finally, now that we have liquid lithium, we just need a thermopneumatic processing plant, which I'm hoping this one is empty. No, this one seems to be empty. And I was going to say that if we put that liquid lithium inside the thermopneumatic processing plant, cool it down, and obviously apply enough pressure, we're going to get lithium dust. The problem is that I'm using very garbage compressors. So I don't know, maybe for the moment we add some speed upgrades? Yes, pressure is going up, and there you go. Our first piece of lithium. I should probably switch everything with advanced ones, cause you know, now that we have auto crafting, making a compressor should not be that difficult. I would like to mention it's not cheap, but it's doable. Yeah, judging by the fact that this guy is incredibly red, that guy is incredibly blue, this is a much better rate. It's still garbage, but we can work on it. Also, we're getting brine much faster than we're making lithium. That is odd. Yeah, it's fine. Who cares? We just wanted this. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we're making lithium. We just have to light it up by a teeny tiny bit and import the actual lithium into our system. So I noticed that there is something from Pneumatic Craft called transfer gadget, and apparently if I put it like so and put an ender chest, it will output automatically? Yes, very slowly. It's okay, we're not getting it that fast. So for the moment we are done, we can go home. It's just that I consumed all of my compressors and one of them blew up, so how do I recharge my pants? It's okay, we will have to make more, but the main reason that we wanted lithium was this. Reinforced alloy. Let us see if we can craft 1. Maybe? Oh, it gives you 4 per recipe. That's great. And it's not a quest. So I just noticed a very small issue, which led me to find a far bigger issue. You might notice that we have a tank over here for refined fuel. For the past few episodes we were not using that much refined fuel because, well, our pneumatic craft stuff are inside this chest. And the way that we are getting refined fuel is through bitumen. Well, if you remember, we used to gather it sometimes. But then after I set up the bees, we have an ender chest for it, and that is full. And then I thought, okay, if the ender chest is full, then probably the centrifuge is also full. And yes, it is full, but it's full of the wrong stuff. And this is the wrong stuff. For some very weird reason which I do not understand, XNet cannot understand what the hell it is, so it cannot transfer it to a pulverizer. Thankfully the only person who actually understands it is Mechanism, so we need to extract it? Yes. I think there is something wrong with the tags, I'm not sure. Another thing is that the tank from Create, I just extended it, is not the best. This is only 720 buckets. Can we make a dynamic tank from Mechanism? It doesn't seem to be that bad. It's not that bad. Oh, and by the way, this is my source of black dye. It's not the worst thing in the world. This is not how I actually make printed circuit boards. I was just lazy. But in the meantime, maybe we should order like 128? Yeah, we have a ton of fuel and I'm actually going to void most of it. So the dynamic tank from Mechanism is not something super fancy. You just make a multi-block structure and you should make sure that you have 2 valves. One is going to be for input, the other one for output. The structure has formed. I'm not sure if I can put the output over here. No. Yeah, it cannot be a corner block, I guess. Perfect. So this is a much smaller tank, and instead of 700, it's holding 15,000. And I also just realized that teeny tiny bit which I did not mention is actually bigger than the Create tank. It's not very surprising, Crate is essentially vanilla. So now we have another issue. We did manage to get the reinforced alloy from Mechanism and that will unlock a lot of stuff for us, but we need it for one more item. And I wish I wouldn't have checked that is how you make a rotational complex. Okay, but yes, we needed the reinforced alloy in order to make the dissolution chamber. This is another very important gate in this mod pack and well, we should be able to craft it. And if you notice, it requires 25 crafters. My garbage setup down here also has 25 crafters. So I was thinking maybe we can use the same setup in order to craft the dissolution chamber as well. I brought some filters and well, let us see if it works. The thing is, I'm never going to order a disk drive and a dissolution chamber at the same time, so I don't think it's going to be messed up. And I think they have paid enough attention so that none of the items are the same. Yep, it's different. So let me do some filtering and I'll be right back. I just wanted to mention, this works flawlessly. Okay, so I did disconnect the chest and this should be relatively easy, I guess. The 4 filters on the corners are going to be the reinforced alloy and the basic control circuit. So here is 1, 2, 3 and 4. And you guys get the gist. That took far longer than I hoped, but I think we're done. Let us make the drive first. And yes, it's still incredibly slow. Can I like cheat and go in? Yes. I don't really know if this is going to be enough or not, but we will see. And first let us see how fast we can go. This is 27. Can I go to 40? 48? Yes. So 49 is the limit. A pattern for dissolution chamber. But that's not good. I don't have space. And it's because these guys don't stack. There is something from refined storage large patterns which makes a large pattern. Maybe that is the solution? Well, this seems to work. It's just that you can't really encode it and you can't really pick up something from the JI. So I think I have to craft it. But you might also notice it's exactly 9 different items, but just 2 of them doesn't stack. And you know, you can't increase it. Or you can. So I just can't increase it here? Okay. Anyways, let us craft one and see what happens. And it's significantly faster. So far so good. And it's crafting. I was sure something is going to go wrong. Yes! Dissolution chamber. That actually should be a quest. Yes. And can I also encode the pattern? Oh, and this is how you encode the pattern. We put you in the center. And I have no idea how this thing works. I'm guessing you go inside and not here. You're going to go with the drive. I'm not sure if I have enough material to make another one, but let us try. Grey rock wool. Yeah, that's for the heat pipe and some ender eye dust. Okay, that's easy. Okay, so there was a problem with the ender dust that I was using and I have no idea how it happened because I did craft Indirium with it. And suddenly it stopped working. Oh yeah, there is a difference. If you crush it using a crusher, it gives you a different tag. If you do a pulverizer, it gives you a different tag. But anyways, that's not important. We should be able to craft another one. And I really want to know if the big pattern actually works. Oh, it's waiting for all the ingredients. It's actually really good to see that everything is working without a hiccup. And it crafted the second one from scratch. Perfection. Now that we have access to a dissolution chamber, we should be able to make the advanced control circuit for Mechanism. Why is it useful? Because now we can make 16K storage parts. The issue is that in order to make the advanced control circuit, we are going to need some lithium. I was really not thinking of that, so we're getting a teeny tiny bit inside the tank. And I'm assuming the rest of the items I already have. Yeah, CPU core B500. Make me 10. Oh, there are so many patterns in this mod pack. You won't believe me. Oh, I should also make some of the advanced memory chips. Uh-oh. Oh, it's cheap. Well, it's not actually cheap. I have been crafting them in bulk. We might as well order as much as we can. Until we get the schematics, unfortunately, the part of making circuits is going to be manual. Because, you know, there is an automated version, but I think this one unlocks it. Yeah. Automated Engineer's Workbench. You know, this is something that I wanted to ask you for a very long time, but I actually forgot. Does anyone know the answer to this? So, whenever you have a pattern for something in Applied Energistics, if you click with the middle mouse button, well, it will craft it, but here I have to remove it and then order it. Is there like a less ridiculous solution? Maybe? I shall be grateful. Okay, so for our lithium problem, which is something that we are going to need in relatively large quantities, I do have an idea. You might notice that I'm getting far more brine than lithium. So basically what I have to do is that I have to take the brine and make one more refinery. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be visible. Oh, this is the problem. We need superheating elements. Rock wool is not the problem, it's just slag. but superheating element requires a kiln brick. We made extra early on, but we only have 11 left. So I'm not really great with pneumatic craft if you haven't noticed, but I was wondering something. This is the refinery controller, and this is one output. And I just wanted to know, will you give me lithium and I don't need the second output and I don't have to get rid of the steam? I have to speak here because that place is incredibly loud, but I just wanted to let you know, no, you cannot cheat the system. You have to get that steam. Okay, just to summarize, I'm sorry it's loud, I have to talk here. If you see that hole over there, I have another refinery which is making us lithium. And considering the fact that our setup over here is super amazing and therefore we are getting brine much faster than we can convert it into lithium, well, we don't have a problem. We get lithium in the dust form and also in the liquid form. And the liquid form goes inside an ender tank. Also theoretically I should make a pattern for it, but for the moment I don't have enough resources in order to make another wing of machines, so we're going to make a few of them manually. And by them, I mean the advanced circuit. We just take 1 bucket of lithium, and this should be the recipe, right? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, our first advanced control circuit. Also, the reason that I don't have enough resources to make another machine wall is very stupid. So if I want to make like 20 crafters, look what I'm missing. E-core. Ignore the corporeal spark, that's not very important, it doesn't have the recipe for it. But E-core is something that I'm running out. We have to go to the nether, I guess. I have also been checking, yes, there is a method of getting it, but I don't really want to have a bee for slimes. Maybe a phytogenic insulator is going to be much better? I don't know. We are going to void the rest. However, going to the nether is not as easy as it used to be, because if I eat my Oreos, they're not effective anymore. I don't know why. So we need a flask of magma ski. That's not bad. Have you noticed the color of the particles is the color of the flask? That's so cool. Oh, and by the way, the main reason that we could not make a phytogenic insulator until today was because, well, we needed a control circuit. I don't know, just in case you were curious, hello, warm welcome. I forgot to drink the potion. Oh boy, that was lucky. Yes. Oh, I've been here. Yes. A new one. Okay, it wasn't a horrible journey. Well, it's not great, but it's a decent number. Oh, we found something. Is it the thing which has nothing inside? Yeah. There were so many little important things to do that I thought if we do them together, this series is never going to end. So I went up ahead and finished all of them, and we're going to review them really fast. Now that we have unlocked the dissolution chamber, fluids are much more important for us because dissolution chamber without fluids doesn't really work. One of those fluids that we need in relatively large quantities is latex. So I do have fluid extractors, mahogany log, and a block placer. We are already producing latex over here in order to make rubber, but we also need the rubber. So I had to make a teeny tiny bit of an extra system for it. Another item which we don't really need in very large quantities is sap. And the reason that I need sap is that if you process it a little bit further, you're going to get syrup. And of course, one of the main uses of syrup is going to be sugar, which is relatively important for us because we're still going to need ethanol, so we need sugar. But the actual main reason that we had to go with syrup is the syrup bottle, which is used in the Rune of Spring. Now that we have access to advanced control circuits, one of the most important machines that we should be able to craft is the phytogenic insulator. Because you know, we don't have to have a farm for everything, we just can do it inside one machine. The problem is, it does require 1 bit of fertilizer. So this is why we have a pig inside, he's producing a sewage, and we're getting a teeny tiny bit of fertilizer. As I have already mentioned, fluids are now incredibly important for us, and therefore we have a storage for fluids. These are simple black hole tanks, and each one of them can hold around 1000 buckets. And each one of them is hooked up to an ender tank and one storage bus. Because you know, we are getting them at different rates, and if you want to put them inside normal discs, I don't think it's gonna work. So we have one for sap, one for latex, one for creosote oil, one for memory essence, and one for lithium? No, lubricant. Colors are the same, I get confused. I have no production of lubricant yet, but we should be able to order it. Take your payment. Jerk. And well, obviously, it goes inside an ender tank and into our system. Apart from those 5 guys, we also have a tank for lithium. Because you know, if we want to craft an advanced control circuit, we're going to need 10 millibuckets of lithium as well as 60 buckets of memory essence. We cannot automate the production of memory essence, I just go to the mob farm, gather some experience and, well, deposit it in the tank. Which, you know, obviously goes here. Anyways, I don't really want to bore you to death, but now we have access to making simple machine frames. which will allow us to make a few mechanism machines. Also, regarding the creosote oil, most of you were suggesting that if I want treated wood, I should just go and trade. I don't have a villager trading hall, so you're wrong. Secondly, I think you forgot how much treated wood I need. I need 5 sets of the building materials, correct? Each recipe is 500 times, and it has 4 treated wood. That is 10,000 treated wood, and I don't really know how you would trade that. Also, there was one concerning party that why the hell am I voiding the coal? Well, we have plenty of coal, 103,000, and almost 40,000 of coal coke and tar. I don't really need to keep them. There is one more thing that I did. I automated the glyph press because for some of the recipes, we need to craft some of the glyphs. For example, for a dimensional storage, we're going to need the glyph of Ender Access. It's not a horrible recipe, but you just need to do it in a glyph press. We are generating a decent amount of source over here from growing crops, so I have a relay, it will bring it here, and it will go inside the depositor relay. Because you know, glyphs consume a lot of source and well, we needed more than one jar. But essentially, if I order one, we're going to get the clay, the ender chest, some source, the glyph is going to be made and picked up by the hopper hawk. That's why I made it here, because you know, we had a hopper hawk here. There is one issue regarding the glyph press, and that is the clay has to go in from the side and the catalyst or the item that you need has to go from the top. So this is why I have a logistical sorter. Oh, and by the way, if it was not obvious, this is entangled to a crafter. I did notice why the hell my Oreos are not working, and apparently it has to do something with the sandwich. So if you put Oreos in the sandwich, well, the game gets confused. So in short, we're not having sandwich. Okay, so it has been a while and I have been making a list of things that we need to do. There are so many automations that we need to do that I don't really know where to begin. So at this point, I'm basically just prioritizing stuff based on the order that I need them. And what do I need? Nether stars. And you might also notice that there's actually a recipe for it using a bee, and I'm sure I have seen this bee. The problem is, I didn't pay attention to it, so we don't have it. Therefore, we're going to go with the true and tested method of killing the wither. And hopefully I can make it automatic. Oh, these things go way up. I thought it's like 20 blocks. Actually, now that we're here and I'm charging my pants, I wanted to show you something. So you all know the recipe for refined obsidian, right? It's not that terrifying. However, in this mod pack, the recipe is so expensive that you want to really cry. That is 1 stack of refined obsidian dust. I cannot get the wafer because, well, enrichment chamber is far away. And obviously this is the only recipe which is available for us. Pay attention to the ratios. This is 1 stack. Now it's 48. So each stack of refined obsidian dust gives you 4 ingots. I just wanted to let you know. My pants are ready? Good. I should definitely clarify by automatically killing the wither. I don't mean it's going to be entirely automatic, but it's going to be with a push of a button. And since it's going to be with a push of a button, we're going to have a few block placers in the shape of the wither, obviously, to place down the soul sand and wither skeleton skulls, and I'm going to put them on pulse mode. This is going to go really wrong. Anyways, all of them get a link, and all of them will be on receive mode. And did you know, in order to summon the wither, we actually need some skulls. You know, these are very important details. Hello. He had 2 hits. Anyhow, as far as I remember, you have to place down the soul sand first, and then the skulls. I could be wrong, but that's how I remember it. And the entire reason that we are making a tower is that whenever you form the wither, he's actually going to fall down. Cause you know, if we spawn him here, he gets activated here, well, these will be gone. 1 million RF, that is good. You know, a logical person would have done this in creative. We're just going to try and minimize the damage as much as we can. You know, at least we want to make sure that he doesn't get out. So if I give a pulse to soul sand, they have been placed. Why? So ignore whatever I said. We have a loose wither in a cage. So the plan was that we're going to hit him with a spell turret for healing. Like so. Don't go up. Come down. But you might notice that healing doesn't do that much damage. Yeah, let me try to get rid of this one. Okay, we're good. But on a very positive note, we know that we can spawn the wither. It's just a matter of getting rid of him. And unfortunately, healing is not going to work because it's going to be incredibly slow and it's not going to be accurate. Aha! So I have a plan. It's not a brilliant plan, it hasn't been tested, so it can go really wrong. Actually, I forgot to take you. Thank you. I know. I have a very organized base. So here is the plan. And you might notice a few changes, which I will explain. First off, one of the problems that we had was that the wither could fly up, and we don't really want him to do that. So what we are going to do is that we have a few infrared entity detectors. They are from Gauges and Switches mod, and you can configure them. So at this very moment, it is configured to mobs, but if I right click, I can change it to players. So these guys are going to detect entities around them, and if I go in, the roof is going to close down. And the best part is, if I'm above the roof, it's deactivated because it has to see the entity. And you know, these guys are going to power a redstone link, which is going to power a gear shift, which is going to open and close the door. We are going to use miniguns, but since I really want to use healing, we're going to use minigun ammo with instant health. Maybe it's going to be better, I don't know. But let's spawn one wither and see what happens. Aren't you supposed to spawn? Okay, I made a very slight boo-boo, and that is I forgot to fill one of them with soul sand. Yes, as I was saying, no witnesses. If we flick the lever, we should get a wither. We got a wither, he's falling down. The door should hopefully close. Aha, okay, apparently a wither is not a mob. And also armor piercing is much better. Yeah, you see, he's losing health. Also, the bullets are weird. So one of the problems that we were having is that yes, apparently wither is not a mob. The other problem is that the glue which holds these guys together in order to keep the wither inside actually blows up. That's actually very disappointing from Create. I was not expecting that. But fear not, there is another solution. The shield projector, spirited capacitor, and we do have Osiris shards. Great. That is a crazy amount of spirited crystals. Well, we have enough resources in order to make 16, so let us make 16. And I'll try to get more. I was going to say that if I get the shield projector, then there's no need for miniguns. Cause you know, the shield is wither proof and also damages the wither. Okay, so I just set the patterns and this guy, that's not the one. This guy is incredibly expensive. Some of them are being processed, but we need around 50 of these. We need a crazy amount of Niboo. Well, there's only 5 available, we can only afford 3. Does not seem to be a crazy amount, that is 60. Oh, actually this one is great. 54 and 1 stack. Nice, we're getting lucky. Also, some of the shards I already need. Shu, Ra, Autumn, and obviously Osiris. Just to make sure that I'm not going to waste them later on. This is something that I did not want to do because it damages my OCD, but apparently there is a bee, which is going to significantly reduce our cost for God shards as well as Niboo. That bee is actually called Mum Bee, and you can find it inside the Pharaoh's sarcophagus. I have been checking and we have 2. And apparently a lot of alcohol, so maybe this is something that I have to do. And your flower is oasis grass. I was checking if I have any shears left. I'm not doing a great job. Oh, it's just this grass. Fine. Oh, this is fertile soil. We need it for a few recipes and I was wondering where you get it. Because you know, crafting it is actually very expensive. Fortune 8, I have Fortune 7. You come with me. Okay, I have no idea how many times I have done this, but we are missing only 1 Osiris shard. I had to order more surveys because we were also running out of Niboo. And I also realized when items are dropping from the crushing wheels onto the conveyor belt, they do despawn. So I have one of my chest buffers here. Anyways, we have a crazy amount of shards now and well, I guess we go with you. And I'm not even going to wait for the rest. We do this. Just the one, please. Yes, the necklace. You know, sometimes you actually get very lucky. We also got the hope. And one very small thing to note, I have no idea if you can control a shield projector with redstone. But I guess that is something that we will know. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering why the hell do I have Tinker stuff in my inventory, apparently this is the only way of getting molten obsidian. Cause you know, you need 1 bucket for the shield. So you, my dear friend, you go inside, here is your bucket of obsidian, give me my shield generator. I did not check how you make a shield. That's just glass, right? Yes, it's just glass. So you, my dear friend, yes, you have a redstone signal. I have mainly used it for a door and as a trap. I have never used it for killing the wither. Cause you know, I wanted to go fancy, apparently we are not allowed to do that. Aha, so you might notice a few changes over here. First off, the important thing is the shield. If you want to set it up yourself, remember that it should be on solid, damage, and hostile. Another point is that now that we are using the shield, my infrared laser entity detectors are not really great. Cause you know, when the shield drops down, it cannot detect a wither anymore. At first I wanted to go with pneumatic craft, but then I realized there is a sensor from RF Tools. And this is great, it will scan an area of 7x7 in front of it for a hostile mob. And whenever it detects the wither, it will send a redstone signal, it will go to the shield, and the shield will be activated. And all of that being said, here's the wither. And we can stay here. You see, the shield is now active. And he's gonna die. Painfully. Anyways, after he dies, the nether star is going to go inside the vacuumulator and into our system. But this works, and I'm relatively happy. I don't really know how many nether stars we're going to need until we finish this mod pack, but this should last us until the end game. Cause you know, our biggest consumption is going to be for nitro crystals and that's it. But anyway guys, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.